And this is a big morning for us because we finally get the chance to talk to Zach from Citizens joining us.
Woo!
We played Citizens for a while now. Good to finally get to meet you, the man behind the music.
How are you doing?
Good to be here. I'm so good. How are you all?
We're wonderful
Doing
now.
great.
Everybody can hop over to RadioU RIOT on Facebook or our YouTube channel to watch this. But are you in a cabin or what? Where is your location here?
I am in a cabin, and as you can see, there's just tons of things around me because the pipes burst in the cabin. So it's just everything got brought upstairs.
Oh, gosh. So do you live in the cabin, or is this just like where you work, or what do you do?
So this, in a weird way, yes, I do live in a cabin, but this is another cabin on this property.
Now, Zach, I'm going to tell you, this is exactly how I thought you would be. Definitely, you seem so artistic and a cabin type person, so I'm not surprised. And now they have two cabins.
Well, yeah. It does look cozy, though, despite the pipe situation.
Yeah, it is cozy. It's a nice little spot. I love it.
So, Zach, the first thing I want to ask you is, trying to do research.
Make it good. This is our first time talking to him.
That's
all right. Let's make it good.
Come on now.
Trying to do research for this interview is a little difficult because usually I just like to peruse a bunch of your social media, but you don't do a lot of posting.
Oh, for personal stuff?
Yeah. What do you have against social media?
Oh, it rots my soul.
Amen to that.
I
understand.
I don't know. It's funny. I was on there this morning and I saw everyone posting their Valentine's, with their spouse or significant other posts. And I was like, well, I guess I missed my opportunity for that one this year. So
you miss all your stuff. Well, do you feel
hopefully my wife will still love me.
Well, I know Hudson can, because Hudson doesn't do as much as like the rest of us who are glued to our phones.
Yeah.
Do you find
I don't even have an Instagram.
And that we're still mad
Good
at you
for you.
about. Mad. Do you feel like that helps or hurts or makes it harder when you do band stuff to realize, you have to have all that social media when it comes to citizen stuff?
I think the part that's the hardest for me is, when I first connected with music, I just loved the mystery that was around all these artists I would listen to. I didn't know all their stories. I didn't know everything about them. Or are they writing this about, a friend, a spouse, or all those different things? And I feel like social media creates this layer and expectation where, even me, when I get on it, it's like you want to know more about this person. And there's something about that I think is pretty cool, the access. But then at the same time, I like the mystery too of not needing to just give all the details, like letting people experience the art, how they're going to experience it, and not always need to provide context.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Hudson, you're denied. There's no more personal stuff.
That's all right. Well, you know what? I'm just
Except
glad
that he's
for
in a cabin.
Someone else that supports me and not using all the time.
You have found
I'm for you.
Makes my job a little more difficult is all.
Well, this is Zach from Citizens. You guys are celebrating next weekend. I Can't Find the Edges of You, which is your new album. How long did it take you guys to put this all together? And is that like a traditional time frame for Citizens albums, or how long does that usually last?
It did take a while for this one. Part of that was I moved to this cabin,
the other cabin.
away from Washington, which is where we all met. We all met in the state of Washington, and so making this record was a little bit harder because we weren't all in the same place anymore. But I'm really glad about that because we didn't really set out to make, in the past, we've always had this sort of really focused theme for every record. And this one, we just needed to write a bunch of songs to figure out what it was. And that took a long time. So
a bunch of songs, like sometimes our bands will be like, yeah, we wrote 50, 60. Some hip hop, groups will come in. They're like, we wrote 100. Like when you go into the studio for Citizens, is it traditionally you write pretty much what you need, or do you have to write when you're in there because you're behind, or do you have too many?
This time we had too many. Normally it's about, we go into the studio with like 3 songs and then about, 9 songs that are halfway there. And this time we had about 30 songs that were done.
Wow.
But we also knew pretty quickly the ones that we wanted to be on the record and which ones we didn't. I did something a little different on this record where I invited other people into the process. Normally it's just been Brian and I. Brian's the keyboard player in the band. And I don't know, there was something really special about bringing other people in and providing their perspective, especially around the theme of this record, which I really appreciated because I wasn't really giving people a whole lot of details, but it just was naturally the place that we were all coming from. And I really, I think that's what makes this collection of songs really strong.
So what would you say is the theme of the new album then?
That we're all not as smart as we think.
Oh, that's good. That's
like
a very good one.
Oh, I read something this morning. I wish I could remember it, but it was just the idea of it was that we can create, especially within faith, we can create these sort of prescriptive kind of guidelines that we want God to live within. And for me, I was really thinking through a lot of stuff with just how in my own life I did that, and I didn't like that. For one, because this sort of really restrictive space that I was kind of allowing God to occupy in my head, or even better said, in my imagination, it was just not working. And because it was always like too small of a God. And so as I sort of let go of that and accepted the fact that I was really hanging on to things that were more a comfort rather than a willingness to embrace a lot of mystery and questions that I just don't have answers for. That is what really kind of set us out on this journey of wanting to, not even wanting to, of just naturally making a record about faith and acknowledging that God is a bit bigger than we all realize, and that can scare us, and sometimes it does, or it can draw us out of our discomfort and out of our vulnerabilities and into something that actually brings us life.
I like that.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the new album.
This is Zach from Citizens. It comes out next weekend, so I can't find the edges of you.
Well, now the title makes a whole lot more sense.
I know it does, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're just excited because every Citizen song that we get to hear is just it seems so beautifully crafted and so comforting and just so motivating and moving. So we always have and always will appreciate you guys as a band.
Well, thank you so much. Honestly, you guys have been playing us for a while, and it means a ton. So, thanks.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to play you, and it's good to get to finally meet you, Zach.
To see the cabin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we're friends.
And
welcome.
Hopefully we didn't reveal too much of Zach's mystery.
Oh, yeah.
No, I am just in case anyone wants to know, I am wearing pants right now. So.
Our bands are
The
not always
questions
doing
on
that
all
with
of our
interviews.
minds.
Well, we again appreciate you taking the time. We're so excited for the new project. Of course, find them if you want to go to RadioU.com for more details on Citizens. We're just excited for more songs.
Yeah. Should we do Love Light?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. This is the latest